This is Land of Havilah, Psalm 62. It's 12 verses. Verse 1. For the chief musician, to Jeduthun, a psalm by David. My soul rests in God alone. My salvation is from Him. He alone is my rock and my salvation, my fortress. I'll never be greatly shaken. Comment in verse 1, David wrote this psalm and sent it to Jeduthun, one of the chief musicians, 1 Chronicles 25:1. Verses 1 and 2 state the theme of the psalm, that our souls should rest in God, because He alone is our rock, our salvation, and our fortress. We'll never be greatly shaken. Verse 3. How long will you assault a man? Would all of you throw him down like a leaning wall, like a tottering fence? They fully intend to throw him down from his lofty place. They delight in lies. They bless with their mouth, but they curse inwardly. Selah. Comment verses 3 and 4 we just read don't make total sense in this translation. Consulting other translations, the meaning of the verses is more like, how long will you people take aim at a man of high position to bring him down? You see him as a wall that's leaning over or as a tottering fence, vulnerable, that you think you can topple him. You fully intend to remove him from his position. And to do so, you lie and delight in it. You pretend to bless him with your mouth, but inwardly you curse him. So it seems someone wants to topple David. David's inward reaction is to say to himself, verse 5, My soul wait in silence for God alone, for my expectation is from Him. He alone is my rock and my salvation, my fortress. I will not be shaken. With God is my salvation and my honor. The rock of my strength and my refuge is in God. Comment in verses 5 to 7, David reminds himself of the theme of the psalm, which is to make God his fortress from man's assault. Coming up, he wants us to do the same. Verse 8, Trust in Him at all times, you people. Pour out your heart before Him. God is a refuge for us. Selah. Comment in verse 8, Pour out your heart before Him. That's exactly the literal translation of it, pour out your heart. We have the identical expression in English, which makes it easy to translate. In Hebrew, they poured out their hearts, and in English, we pour out our hearts. We should pour out our hearts to God. We have a similar saying that we bounce things off someone, which means we go to someone, tell them our situation, and they give us some type of helpful response. So we pour out our hearts to God in verse 8. We don't pour it out for nothing because He gives answers, so let's pour out our hearts as commanded in verse 8. Now regarding men across the board, no matter who they are, verse 9. Surely men of low degree are just a breath, and men of high degree are a lie. In the balances they will go up. They are together lighter than a breath. Comment, all men are as nothing on God's scale. They carry no weight with God. If we think someone has high degree, it's a lie. There's no one with high degree. Speaking now to all us lightweights, keeping in mind that God is all, verse 10. Don't trust in oppression. Don't become vain in robbery. If riches increase, don't set your heart on them. God has spoken once, twice I have heard this, that power belongs to God. Also to you, Lord, belongs loving kindness, for you reward every man according to his work. Comment, God will reward, recompense, pay back, or render to every man according to his work. If a person does evil on the one hand or good on the other, God will pay back accordingly. So as verses 1 and 2 said, God should be our rock and fortress. We don't honor or admire those who do evil, knowing that God will take care of us and recompense every man according to his work. Psalm 63 is next.